Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And today's third or fourth Master review is none other than the War Master, Anti-Genesis. So, what is Anti-Genesis about? Well, the best way to put it into perspective is imagine the War Master has been sent on a mission to avert the creation of the Daleks. However, rather than avert the creation of the Daleks, he actually comes up with his own solution. The Master begrudges Davros and believes that maybe if he had been the intellect that was behind the plans of the Daleks would go in a completely different direction. By doing this, he ends up causing a parallel sort of timeline in which the Daleks evolve from the Master's creation. Davros dies in an explosion, the Master takes over, he becomes the scientific elite. He demotes Davros and essentially makes it his plan to take over all of Skaro. After achieving this, the Master soon finds himself bored with his new creations. He has to keep trying to imagine ways to make the Daleks better. However, when the Time Lords catch wind of what the Master has achieved, they become very angry and agitated with him and begin to want to do everything in their power to get back at him. The best way to do this, of course, is to get a Master from a parallel universe to turn up and pretty much slap the Master in the face. The Master from the other universe begins to turn the Daleks on the War Master, creating a sort of reversal of the effect of what's happened. By waking the Master up to exactly what he has done and the creation he has gone on to procure, he finds himself in a scenario in which he has no choice but to go back and correct the timelines. However, before this happens, of course, the Master does get a little bit of a kick out of torturing Davros. He also gets a kick out of seeing what the Daleks could have been under his control. However, he soon realizes that just like Davros, it doesn't matter if you change the dictator, you can't change the machine. The Daleks will always want to destroy everything not in their image. That is how they are created, no matter in what form or who by. Of course, the Master then begins to blame this duly down to the fact of the Khalids themselves. The Khalids by this point in the war have become warmongering, hate-fested creatures of absolute obscenity. Whether they were mutated by what had happened with the fallout out in the wastelands, it doesn't matter. The Khalids had been brainwashed and indoctrinated long enough that their ideals of being supreme to other beings is totalitarian and unresolvable. By the end of the story, as I pointed out, the Master goes back on this and realizes just how bad it gets. So, what did I think of the War Master Anti-Genesis? It's a very interesting problem, this story. I like the idea that they're questioning whether the Master would have been a better fit to destroy the Daleks compared to the Doctor. I mean, the Master does obviously make a lot of jest towards the Doctor about never achieving to destroy the Daleks. But in this story, it kind of gives a slap in the face back to the Master, pointing out that if the Master was given the option, his lust for power would overfuel his ambitions to destroy the Daleks. Of course, the carnage and all the chaos that happened later in the years most probably would have shifted the Master's perspective, but during these younger days of the War Master, we find ourselves in a situation where you can understand why the Master gets so greedy. And for that reason, I give the War Master Anti-Genesis a solid 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next Doctor Who review. Until then, goodbye, stay beautiful, you beautiful people.